Point was, Lake Escape is now not just an escape room, which, by the way, it's an incredible escape room. If you've never been, like, they're really, really challenging, fun, entertaining rooms. It's a really neat experience. The technology they have there is second to none. But they now have an axe throwing bar.
Axe throwing.
So
They've
cool.
got a bar back behind them.
Yeah, they got video games. They got some outdoor games. But the axe throwing in and of itself is not your typical. That from what I knew of axe throwing, it's digital. You're throwing an axe, but you're hitting targets that are digital, which is really cool.
A ton of different games, a ton of different stuff, just to keep everybody happy.
I can put Jesse's face up there at the target. Jesse, this is going to be really hard to shoot this video as we sit here staring at the lake.
Yeah, so it's beginning of July, almost 4th of July at the time of shooting this. Summer's here, warm weather's here, boaters are here, the lake's hopping.
Yeah, we wanted to shoot this on the deck, but because it's hopping so much, today is July 3rd, which means everybody's here. The pool's popping right outside this condo, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Man, it's a good time of year.
Yeah, this is when everybody wants to be here for sure. There's going to be plenty of fireworks to go around this 4th of July. I know you put out some content on that, which had been questionable back in Memorial Day.
Let's talk about that, because we're going to start this video today, before we get into the June market update, with some updates on all the things that are happening and supposed to be happening, some of the things, the new developments that have opened. But let's start with that one, which we didn't anticipate talking about, which was fireworks, because I've had a lot of people comment and say, why have all these establishments pulled back on fireworks?
Yeah, that lodging tax that was done away with, essentially paid for all that stuff through Lake Ozark Convention Bureau. They're a big advocate for that, and that put a lot more funding into the area than we anticipated.
And so basically they lost some tax revenue and they're just pulled back on fireworks. But there's still a ton of fireworks. I mean, we had 3 pages of worth. So there's plenty of opportunities. It's already gone and passed by the time you're watching this, but just for future, if you were curious, that's why.
Yeah, there's still plenty of fireworks to go around here at Lake of the Ozarks.
Now, speaking of updates, we've got a bunch of them, and we're sitting here at a condo on the 19-mile marker, which is right around the bend from Oasis at Lakeport.
Oasis, the new Marriott that they're going to be building and putting in, Dog Days. We're staring at Kellysport right now, the main channel, and it is hopping. Yeah, so
what's an update on the Oasis? I mean, we've been watching it. It's just sitting there. They put up the Ferris wheel, and then it just sits.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Anybody that ever has an idea of buying out a timeshare complex, talk to Jeff, because he had no clue how much work was going to be involved into it. And the many lines and generations of family that were deeded these old deeds for this timeshare that people didn't even know about. So when he had closed on all the deeds in April, I believe, it still wasn't, he needed to get some quick claim deed. So that once they started rebuilding on it, there was absolutely nobody that could come back and lay stake to any of the claims. So of course he had to put off developing any of that, because you don't want that hanging over your head. In the past couple days, we're here at Grandview Point Condos, right across from Dog Days. So me coming over here and prepping this condo, Ameren has been there. They've been moving some line poles so they can do some additional blasting. Spectrum's been here. They're running way big internet cables down for prepping for the shootout. Yeah, and they're adding docks. And the docks is the only thing that's going to be done this summer, because that was promised to the shootout, so the boat racers have a place to park their boats. Yeah. So Oasis is supposed to be open in 2026. Marriott's being pushed back to 2027. If it's anything like how I've ever remodeled a house, it's going to cost more and take longer.
And I think for anybody, all the naysayers that say that, and by Jeff, by the way, he's not talking about me. He's talking about the developer. And
take it off.
Yes, and so this thing, there was hundreds of millions of dollars tied up in escrow that are now coming out, and that was as a result of releasing all of the timeshares. It's a lot of politics-ish type of stuff that goes into this kind of stuff, and it's just not simple.
A lot of dominoes.
So that's Oasis at Lakeport coming. Docks coming soon, hopefully completed in 2026. You just never know. Speaking of 2026, there was another development that was supposed to be open in 2025 that hit roadblocks, which was George Tucker's place right next to the dam, which is underway. There's activity going on there. If you're not familiar with it, it's going to be 5 levels, entertainment complex, a big pool, different levels for different different entertainment, gaming on some, restaurants on some, I think nightclub on one. Like, it looks really cool.
It's going to be really cool.
We just got done a couple of weeks ago with the X Insurance Offshore. Man, that is going to be primo real estate.
How was that boat race?
That was so fun.
Yeah.
So fun. I would be really surprised if that doesn't gain traction. Maybe not to shootout status. It's definitely several steps down, but I think being back at the dam, now when you have Tucker's Place, it's just a different experience. It's racing, it's boats racing, so it's kind of fun. It's more on, there's constant action.
Interactive.
It's cool. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, granted, I had access, so I was on the pace boat, so I really got a front row seat, but it's neat. Yeah, enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've been at those before. It's a lot different seeing them race around buoys versus going in.
And not nearly the shit show, and I mean that in a positive way, the party that the shootout is. Because it's so much broader, it's a 3-mile track, there's more space.
Yeah.
Unless you like that, and then it's not quite the shootout experience. But you're right on the strip, they have a street party, they had a concert. It was neat. I'm excited for the future of that race.
The street parties that they put on for that race and shootout, you have to experience it.
Arguably the best. And we will definitely be talking a hell of a lot more about the shootout in next month's update because it's August. I want to continue down. So we've got Oasis at Lakeport, we've got Tucker's Place, Pappo's in Camdenton, which was a new development that was supposed to open this year, and it just did.
Yeah.
It's a little late, like everything, but just opened. We actually called over there the other day trying to get carry out. They're not currently, as of today, doing carry out or delivery because they're slammed. So they are just doing dine in. But if you're familiar with Pappo's, man, it's arguably the best pizza.
They've got some fantastic pizza, lots of different good beers.
Yep.
They have really expanded their franchise.
Big time.
Yeah.
Not just at the lake.
For a reason.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's good stuff.
So it's right off of Highway 54, just east of downtown Camdenton. You can't miss it. If you haven't been to Pappo's before, go check it out. Also, Camdenton-ish, Lynn Creek, Super Splash just opened.
That place, they did it right. They redid their kid pool area, and then they also put in the big slide that you see from up above. Yep. We were there with my daughter and her friends, so 8-year-olds, and then my son Schaefer at 5, and Schaefer had a blast. And he could run, he ran up and did this big slide out the kiddie pool area 8 times in a row. Nice. And I pulled up a lounger in the shade and just watched him go.
Nice.
And he was perfectly fine.
Nice.
It was such a great place for kids.
Good to know.
The big slide coming down, Annie even did that.
Nice.
Schaefer did it. Yeah.
There's not a height restriction on that?
There is a height restriction, but
Schaefer was good. Okay, because that's pretty short.
Good.
Right.
On your toes, boy.
Good. All right. I like it. So Super Splash is open. It's kicking, and it's I've heard great things.
It's a fantastic place.
The next one that we'll talk about isn't open yet, but I think it's going to get open this summer. I've done some content about this recently. Level 5 Amphitheater, which is right next to Backwater Jacks. It's going to be a multi-level pool concert venue. Off the water, not on the lake. You can pull up by boat to Backwater and walk over. They added a huge parking lot, and they're going to have live concerts where you're chilling in a pool and enjoying a concert.
Is there anything else like that out there?
Actually, according to Nate, and by the way, a lot of the updates that we've gotten, all of them actually have come from Nate Bechtold at Lake Expo. Thank you, Nate. And if you don't follow and read and stay in tune with what Lake Expo is doing, you should, because that's where I get that's my source. But he has said that in his article that nothing like it exists in the world. It's called Level 5 Amphitheater. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting, pretty cool place.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Marty Bird's idea.
I imagine so. Two more places. One of them has hit a roadblock, Pen Seekers. So the Top Golf-ish concept that was coming here off of Highway 54 between Y and the city limits has hit a snag. So
it got me. I was looking forward to that place. I'm sure you were too.
I was too, yeah, especially in the off season.
Yes.
So the gist of it is the Pen Seekers franchise had to file bankruptcy, so they hit a roadblock there.
No bueno.
And so, according to the owners who are doing this, all I will tell you is the article ends on Nate's article. It's going to happen. This is just a setback.
It's going to happen.
I hope that's true.
They hit a rock trap.
Not a sand trap. They hit a rock trap. That's right. And so, Pen Seekers is on hold. Hopefully, it's something that gets rolling in 2026.
Please.
TBD.
Please.
But in the meantime, something did open up, and if you're looking at my hat right now, it says Lake Escape upside down because. I don't know why it's upside down. That's just because it's the cool thing to do on hats
nowadays. It's what the kids are doing now.
They are doing it now. If you want the answer to that, by the way, it started with a hat maker in Dallas, and it was during COVID, and because the world was upside down. And so when somebody asked me, why do you have LOTO hats, which I do now that have the upside down LOTO, I said, because when you come to LOTO, life flips upside down.
Huh, well, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
It sounds like something we would order in with branding, and the machine got it wrong. It's like, here you go.
Let's just go with it. So, you know what? I don't know why I'm talking about this. We're gonna have to shoot a market update from there, of course, and throw it axes at each other's faces.
All right.
That sounds like fun.
There we go.
So those are your updates for the things that are going on at the Lake of the Ozarks. There's a lot of exciting things coming, and I imagine in the coming months as we get into the off season, there's probably going to be a few more things trickling in that we don't even know about. So I'm excited for that.
Things have been blown up here at Lake of the Ozarks.
Big time.
For sure.
The next couple of years is going to see some massive growth, and who knows what else. Now, that is the perfect transition, and we've already mentioned we're sitting at one of your new listings here. Tell us about this listing, and then let's just get into the June market update.
Yeah, so we're at Grandview Point Condos. This is a walk-in level unit, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just over 1,400 square feet. Updated, great view. You get a view out of the back of the cove towards Kellysport. You can also see the pool right over the corner, the main channel. They have 14 by 36 boat slip here, and he has another one available for additional money.
Wow.
So if you've got some lake toys, and it was cool the way that he had it set up. I hadn't really seen this before. So wide boat slip, fishing boat, jet ski, one lift, 4 bunks. Yeah. So
Wow.
you
Okay.
can fit lots of
Very
stuff.
cool. We'll have to show that.
Yeah. So very cool condo. This one is, right in the heart of it all. You can walk anywhere you need to go from here.
Yeah.
And you're 5 minutes away from Deerberg's, Walmart.
Yeah. I mean, you could stumble home from dog days.
You could.
Yeah.
You can nightly rent here if you wanted to. They never have, but it's just a good Osage Beach condo complex.
So, which is the perfect segue because as we've talked about, in the past several months, the condo market is rough right now. So give it to us. What's going on?
I'll just go ahead and throw this out there.
Okay.
June was only the second month this year where we had more condo sales than last year.
Nice.
That's a win for condos.
Nice.
We'll
That's good
take
to know.
we'll take everything we can get.
So if you've been sitting on the sidelines and thinking, well, now is not the time to sell, maybe you should rethink that.
Yes, and even back in May when we shot this last month, I was surprised that May numbers came in a little bit light because of all the activity we had going on.
Okay.
There was a lot of that stuff being put under contract in May and then closed in June. So we'll see how they can keep the momentum up.
Sweet.
Yeah, starting off with Lakefront homes for Lake of the Ozarks. Compared to June 2024, new Lakefront homes listings saw a slight decrease with 99 listings this year compared to 103 last year. Overall, year to date, new listings have increased by almost 12%. June is only the second month in 2025 to have fewer listings than what it did last year. Currently, there are 82 more lakefront homes available right now than what there was last year. So we've definitely seen a rise in lakefront homes and also in condos. In June 2025, the median lakefront sale price increased by 4%, reaching $637,500, increase from 24 that was at $613,250.
Nice.
So year to date, our median sale price is up 1.34%, so just a slight rise in that. Lakefront home sales were off only one sale this June for lakefront homes compared to last June. Year to date, we're down 17 lakefront home sales.
Interesting.
So just a little bit lighter on that. Lakefront homes in June have been on the market 40% longer than last year. This June, our average days on market was 40 days compared to 29 days last year.
It's just because buyers are in the position now where they're thinking, okay, prices need to come down a little bit before we buy.
Well, that's an interesting thing, but median sale prices are still rising. We have a supply and demand going on where we have a lot more inventory, so now buyers get a chance to look at more properties and think it out a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah, but homes are still commanding high prices. Listed sale price ratio is very comparable to last year, up only less than 0.25% at 96.9%. So what this means is if your house was priced at $100,000, on average, it would sell for $96,900. Months of supply saw our first dip for the year, pulling back from 7.9 months last month to 7.7 months this June. Months of supply, we've talked about this before, anything over 6 months is considered a buyer's market. They have more time to think, more time to negotiate. Less than 6 months is a seller's market. There's less demand. If you want this property, you better buy it, because if not, there's a couple other people in line that are gonna buy it. So this really comes into play whenever I'm talking to sellers. Okay, so if we're at 7.7 months, that means if no other homes come on the market, it's gonna take 7.7 months to work through the existing inventory. Lakefront homes for sale by price bracket, 300 to 500,000, 69 homes, down 2 from last month. 500 to 750,000, 66 homes, up 3 homes from last month. 750 to a million, 67 homes, up 3 from last month. 1 million to 2 million, 56 homes, and that's down 4 from last month. That number is staggering. That $1 to $2 million.
56.
Mark. Yeah. $2 to $5 million properties, 43.
That's more staggering.
43. That's up 4 from last month. Over $5 million, 7 homes, down 2 from last month. We have 1 come off the market, and then this one over here on Darwood on the Point sold for $8 million.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that is a very nice home. Interesting fun fact: 20 homes have sold for over $2 million so far this year. Last year, this time, 8.
Is that a fun fact or not so fun fact?
It's fun
where you're at.
It's fun if you're the seller. That is
True,
a 150% increase in that price bracket.
It's fun if you're a millionaire.
Yeah,
But for the rest of us,
fun
it's
stuff.
just fun to talk about.
337 total currently available lakefront homes, up 8 from last month. Here's another fact for you.
Okay.
At least 183 of these listings have reduced their price. That's 54.3% of the lakefront homes currently active on the market have reduced their price.
Did you hear that, sellers?
That's a big number.
Well, that's a sign.
Yeah, that's still sellers wanting to reach and test the market.
Yes.
And that's
Fair.
That's not the market that we're in.
If you really want to sell.
Yeah, so when I do my comparables, whether it's for home or condo, I mean, you have to dig in. And what's tricky for buyers out there is if somebody takes their property off the market and then relist it at a lower price, for one, you won't see it as a price reduction, and for two, it resets your days on market. So you really have to go through and filter out the price history on your comps that you're comping it out on, so that you know how much you're going to offer the seller, and for sellers, how much you're going to go to market in. Now for condos, new listings, June 2025 was up 17% with 105 new condo listings compared to 90 last year. Year to date, we are up 25.66% at 710 more new listings. There are 150 more condos on the market compared to this time last year.
Yeah. Okay.
So, condo buyers, you have options.
Yes.
And I see this when I have people come in from out of town. You know, that 2020 through 2023, there's 2 of them that fit your criteria. We'll go look at both of them. Which one do you want?
Yeah.
Now we have a much wider array of weighing your options.
Yeah.
What do you really like? And for a lot of people, when you come into Lake of the Ozarks, you have no clue what the layout is, how many stairs you're getting to the dock. We as realtors don't always photo the stairs.
Yeah.
Ours, with our drone, you can kind of get a pretty good idea for what the layout is for everything. Median sale price for lakefront condos was up barely by $1,000 to $325,000.
$1,000. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty close. Condo sales were up by 1 sale.
Hey.
That's only the second time this year where we've had a month outpace the
Is that
last year's
summertime?
pace. Like I said before, I felt like we really just had a delayed spring this year.
True. Yeah. And we've had shitty weather. A
Yeah.
lot of rain.
So it's kept people from coming in, pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
I go through these numbers and I always sit here and go, man, I wonder what next month's going to be like.
It makes me think that we're going to have a hot fall. And now being a full-timer, I'm excited for that.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm good for a hot fall.
Yeah.
I'm good for condo sales going longer into the fall. Hopefully we get some more rate drops. I know that's been in the news for the short-term rate. Doesn't really affect long-term rates, but get those down a little bit and everybody will be a lot happier. There have been 37 fewer condos sold this year to date, down by almost 14%. Average days on market for condos continue a 3-month rise this year to 70 days compared to 56 average days on market. It's a 25% increase. So condos are staying on the market 25% longer
Price
than
right.
last year.
Price right.
List to sale price ratio was up 0.22%. This one still, it throws me for a loop. Your list to sale price ratio is higher on condos than what it is for a lakefront home. And it's been that way this year. Months of supply for condos, much like homes, pulled back a little bit this June, except for condos is much higher. We're at 11.5 months compared to 11.7 months last May. In June of 2024, for reference, we were at 7.1 months.
Wow.
Which I thought was high back then, and it's been a
Shoot, we're a year now.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The lakefront condo volume is contracted by 15% for the first half of the year.
Wow.
So volume is the dollars traded. So even though that condo prices have gone up with a lack of sales, the market's contracted. Condos available by room, 2 bedrooms, 133 condos, down 9 from last month. 3 bedrooms available, 248 condos out there with 3 bedrooms. That's up 9 from last month. 4 bedrooms available, 26. That's down from 2 from last month. 434 active condo listings, lakefront right now. Same as last month. 213 of these have had price drops. 49.1% of condos have had price drops.
I mean, it's the same as the lakefront homes.
Yeah. So year to date, we have had 1 condo sale for over $1 million. And that was the penthouse over at Cypress.
And that was $5 million damn near.
4.1.
I was rounding up.
Well, they had a list price up there,
Yeah.
for sure. This time last year, 6 condos had sold for over $1 million.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so between over at the Cypress and the Havens, the new construction spot, and then the corner penthouse over
I mean,
at
the difference is there's a lot, far fewer $1 million condos than homes.
Yes, very
Condos
much
are,
so.
condos are far more affordable.
Very much so. In summary, lakefront homes still show price strength, moving a little bit slower, more buyer favored right now. Condos stable in price, but inventory keeps going up. It gives buyers a longer time for negotiations. Inventory levels across the board remain high with over 50% of listings reducing price. Sellers, you have to really be in tune with the market. And if you want to test the market, you don't mind being on the market for a year, then you can do that.
Yeah.
But if you want to sell, you really have to be priced right and go through a lot of the pre-listing steps that we talk about during our listing process. Buyers, you're operating in the most favorable conditions we've seen since the peak of 2020 inventory. More listings, more time to act, more room to negotiate. I push this a lot. You guys know how much I go through my numbers, data-driven offers. So we can create an offer and say, hey, your pricing's out of line because of these comps over here. You tell me why is your condo worth more. Sellers, market requires precision. Overpricing is punished by longer days on market, multiple price drops, missed momentum. Your best time on the market is within that first 2 weeks. That is when it's fresh to buyers. Buyers have either missed out on properties or they just can't find what it is they're looking for. So if you go in the market testing it and you miss that 2-week juice, you're in for price drops and longer days on market. Yeah. At Lake Expo Real Estate, your listing gets the power of media exposure. Last month, we had 2.4 million property impressions just from LakeExpo.com.
Awesome. Web impressions, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's separate from our LakeExpoRealEstate.com site. That is just Lake Expo. So our strategy is to put your home where the people are already going for their news, and they'll see that and go, wow, look at this place.
To put that in context, that's like being the Zillow of a niche market. That's basically what Lake Expo has created.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, we thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're looking for strategies to buy your dream place at the lake, give me a shout. I work with buyers from condos to multi-million-dollar properties, same as sellers. I know what it's like. I've bought and sold many properties personally, so I know the emotional roller coasters. I'm happy to work with all of you. All my clients get the same treatment best that I can, so that I can try to get more referrals from you and your friends on down the road.
I love it. I wish that the cameras were reversed right now because there was three people on a Sea-Doo that just threw all 3 of them off.
That's almost as good as the haul over inlet YouTube videos.
Yeah. Again, I wish you could see what we're seeing here. I'm gonna grab some B-roll just because we can insert that in. But yeah, that was funny.
It's 4th of July weekend. This is when everybody wants to be at the lake. Obviously, Memorial Day is busy. Everybody's ready to get out of hometown and get some lake action.
It's almost surefire heat though this time of year.
It's been pretty good so far. It has been hot this past week. July, you could probably talk to Zach more about their stats. For me, just seeing the amount of activity on the water, I mean, it is all week long in July. Yep. July is the busiest month here at Lake of the Ozarks, and there's a lot of fun to be had here.
Get your butts down here, because summer, time flies, man.
You're missing out.
Time flies, unfortunately, and here we are back in July again, and I'll see you in August when we'll be talking a lot about the shootout and the wind down of summer, sadly.
No.
Such is life.
We still get 90-degree days in October.
I agree,
There's
I think we
plenty
will
of
this year. I think we will this year. But-
Yeah, well, let us know. Should we do our next video at Lake Escape at the new axe throwing, or do you have a better idea for us?
I like that. I like that. Give it to us.
Give it to us.